Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Am I the A-hole? Story 1. AITA for not wanting to invite my dad's side of the family to my wedding. So, my fiancé and I got engaged recently and we have a bit of an age gap. I won't say what the gap is because I'm not looking for more unwanted opinions about it. Anyway, my dad's side of the family is very close-minded and they already don't like me or my family for how different we are from them. They are very jealous people and get very mad if we don't drop anything and everything to accommodate them. They still don't know I am even in a relationship because I have been keeping it a secret from them out of fright of their. Story 2. AITA for not letting my brother hide behind the dead wife card anymore. My 30F brothers, 34M, lost his wife a year ago. They have 3 girls, 12, 5, and 3. My brother was definitely one of those husbands who worked, came home, played with the kids, but that was it. His wife ran the show, chores, raising the kids, making sure they went to school and activities, all the cooking, etc. All on top of her own full-time job. She died quite unexpectedly, and to say he was lost is an understatement. So, I stepped in to help. Some may call it enabling, but it was that or my nieces would suffer. They do their part around the house, what's appropriate for their ages, obviously. I've been trying to teach my brother to do the rest. I understand he just suffered a massive loss and a lot of his inability to learn, I put on grief. But as we close in on 14 months since her passing, he definitely has just used me to replace his wife in all ways domestic. I've tried talking to him about it before and he'd pull the "my wife just died" card. Again, on me that I let it slide. My final straw was when I went on a work trip. Came back to chaos. The house was cleaned, because the girls did more than their fair share. Obviously they should have chores, but by his own admission, he did nothing despite having the time to. Oldest told me she was the one making sure the little ones went to school/daycare. She's done all the cooking. She had to give up an end-of-the-year dance because my brother asked her to watch the girls so he could go out with friends. I had a come-to-Jesus meeting and told him he needs to get his shit together. I'm doing one more tutorial day and that's it. He needs to either hire a housekeeper or nanny, he can afford both, if he's not interested in doing his share of the chores or taking the kids anywhere. He needs to get a calendar to remind himself when stuff needs to get done. I said it was this or the girls come stay with me until he gets his act together. He started on the whole "I just lost my wife" stuff again, and I pointed out the girls lost their mother, and now it's like they lost their dad too. He asked if I was calling him a bad dad and I didn't answer, which pissed him off. He said as family I should be willing to help. I said I'd help, but I'm not his wife. Now the girls are staying with me. My family says I should have kept helping him vs berate him and that I'm heartless for not being empathetic enough. They added it's my fault the girls are missing their dad because I gave him the ultimatum, and if I just kept helping, they'd still see him. It seems no one is on my side. AITA. Edit. Story 3. AITA for no wanting to give back to the owner a neglected cat I rescued from the streets. AITA for taking a neglected cat into my care and rejected the owner for having him back? For several months, around 4 months, I have seen this orange cat roaming around. I tried multiple times to get close to him, but he would run away. It wasn't until 10 days ago when he came to me. It was raining. My husband and I set up a shelter for him where he has clean water, food, litter, and a warm place. We contacted the rescue organization, and with their help, we made a public post on social media. The cat is around 2 years old, not neutered, no tattoo, and no microchip. The poor boy had blood coming out of his ear. I took him to a vet appointment. He has a severe ear infection, and we are currently on his treatment to heal that ear. He has been defleed, given anti-flea medication, and is on anti-inflammatories. I make sure he gets his medication twice a day, plus multiple pets, and I brush his fur. Tonight, a woman came asking for him. Normally, I would have given him back to the owner. He is not the first cat I've rescued, and I'm sure he won't be the last. The woman could not even stand up for herself. She was dirty and clearly was high on something. She said her mom kicked her out of the house along with the cat. I asked her for a picture, and she said her phone was dead. Then she said she got him from BCSPCA and had the papers at her stepdaughter's house. Like I mentioned, I've rescued before, and I know that when adopting from SPCA, the pet will come neutered, which is included in the adoption fee. We, my husband and I, told her we're not giving him back until there is real proof that he is her cat and that she is able to provide basics for the cat as well as get him neutered. I don't know what to do. I don't want to see that sweet boy on the street again. I really don't want to steal a pet. I am a cat owner, and I would hate someone taking my cat. I really care for them, and I would adopt this cat, but I have no idea what to do. I really want the best for this cat, and we are making great progress on his overall health and the ear infection. I am highly confused and fear for that woman to break into my property. Story 4. AITA for saying you done to a woman who said excuse me while I was buying some vegetables. I was just checking the price of tomatoes and comparing the quality and price of the two options. I was there for maybe 10 to 15 seconds and a woman says excuse me, I said sorry and moved back. Thinking she knew what she was getting. No, she does the same thing as me and I was just waiting for her to be done for over a minute. So I said you done? She said that I need to be more patient and that I'm a man-child. Story 5. AITA for distancing from my friend. So, there's three main people who we can call Rachel, who is my current friend, and Lindsay and Lily who are people I'm no longer friends with but Rachel is. Rachel and I have become really good friends but the issue is that she still is around Lindsay and Lily. Lindsay was someone who was very emotionally manipulative towards me and tried ruining another friendship of mine as well as being very disrespectful to Rachel's family when they allowed Lindsay to live with them, which I took as my final straw to just drop Lindsay and I'm no longer friends with her. We also had instances where we knew that Lindsay was most definitely talking poorly about both me and Rachel to her other friends. Along with Lily who had romantic intentions with me our entire friendship and I just wanted to stay friends. Then Lily got upset because of that and lied to people saying I led them on, later they would just shit talk me to Rachel. Lily also hated me enough to not go to Rachel's graduation because I was there in support of Rachel. The thing is that Rachel lies to Lily saying that we don't hang out at all and we're not as close of friends as we actually are because Rachel knows Lily would be upset. Now, I've tried to let it go that Rachel still surrounds herself with these two people as I never want to make a big deal or just be the person to get upset for someone being friends with a person I'm not on good terms with as that's my business. But, it was really building up on me as I don't see the reason why Rachel needs to lie to Lily about our friendship as well as why she still surrounds herself around Lindsay. So, I recently talked with Rachel and said I just want some distance so I could just think about things. I really do love Rachel as a friend and I can't tell if I let these affect me too much. AITA. Story 6. AITA for writing a book about an ex-lover. I'm a horror author and have had a couple of books published. About 5 years ago when I still had a day job, there was a girl who I started to like. We got chatting and had chemistry etc. We were getting really close and then I found out that she was seeing somebody already. I respectfully backed off but then she asked why I was being more distant, so I told her it was because she was already seeing somebody. She told me it wasn't serious and they weren't exclusive yet. We carried on getting to know each other. She came to mine for breakfast before work and we ended up kissing and fooling around. Things advanced over the coming weeks and then we slept together. The other guy looked through her phone whilst she was asleep and was furious. It turned out they were in a committed relationship, so she had lied to me. He made all sorts of threats which I ignored and he even chased after me in his car one time. I stayed away from her and a few months later she came to me and said that she'd split up with him. We decided to give things a go. About a week later he texted her saying he wanted her back and she went right back to him. He blamed me for all their issues and started threatening me again. He sent me angry texts, pictures of weapons, and even lurked around outside work to intimidate me. Once he even sent me a video of her sucking his C***ck. I replied saying he needed to trim his bush because it was wildly out of control and he couldn't expect a girl to put her face in a thicket like that. I ignored him the rest of the time and stopped talking to her even though she sent me loads of messages saying she loved me. The whole thing gave me an idea for a horror book, so I wrote it and it got published. She read this book and was really angry because it was obviously based on our situation. She was worried that the book made her look bad, even though nobody outside of the situation would even know it was based on her, but my point was that if she didn't want to look bad then she shouldn't have done all that stuff. Am I the asshole? Edit. I can't tell you the name of the book because I'd like to keep my own identity anonymous. Sorry. Story 7. AITA for pointing out to my wife that my mother will never be her parent and she needs to stop. My mom, 64, is polite and in general keeps a distance away from my wife, 26. I know my wife has trouble with social interaction and they got off on a horrible start. My wife, I am going to call her Lily, was in foster care and never had a parental figure and she went hard into trying to become my mom's kid. I think it would have happened if my wife let the relationship grow naturally, but she didn't take any of my warnings and bulldozed what my mom wanted. A few examples: she kept calling her mum even after she told her multiple times to call her by her name. Lily would make her uncomfortable, especially when she would ask my mom very personal question or go way too deep. I have talked to her so many times but she doesn't stop. The family has taken their concerns with me also and have straight up told her to stop. The big turning point was when my mom and her daughters, my sisters, went to visit deceased family member. It's a tradition between the three of them. Well, Lily heard about it and went. It went very poorly and my sisters dislike Lily now also. We are invited to events and are still in the family, but the women of the family keep their distance. There is a girls' trip around Christmas and she wasn't invited. This made my wife very upset and was ranting. I had enough when Lily said she was her kid. I snapped and told her my mother will never be her mom and you need to stop. She ended up crying and now I feel guilty. I just don't know how to get it through her head that she needs to stop. I've talked with her so many times and she is already in therapy. Edit. I'm getting a lot of comment. I will try to read them all and answer as much as I can. I probably won't see a questions if there isn't info in the first line. Also I have a lot of comments, so if you do have a question it may have been answered already, please check. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.